Carranza, show you registered to testify on behalf of yourself against House Bill 4. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Please give us your testimony.
I oppose House Bill 4 and this entire undemocratic and rush mid-decade redistricting, which virtually nobody in Texas wants. I suspect not even you. Representative Manuel, do you know what downtown Austin, where I live, has in common with Trinity County, which is 200 miles away? They each are home to about 15,000 people. They're both in Texas, duh. And they both will be moved to heavily gerrymandered Congressional District 10 if this bill passes. Sadly, this is far from the worst district being proposed. I am a naturalized citizen who has called the US home for more than half my life. I was born in Brazil during peak dictatorship when people were being disappeared by the government. Kind of sounds familiar. The movie I'm Still Here talks about that period, and I'm still here. As a little kid, I went to pro-democracy rallies with my older siblings, and I was fortunate to experience the transition out of dictatorship. Well, right now, you are handling on a silver platter our democracy to Donald Trump, ignoring the will of Texas. Shame on you. You're breaking down districts and splitting out communities. You're cracking and packing all major metro areas, disenfranchising the largest economic centers in Texas. You were biting the hands that feed you. Stop that. I urge you to withdraw this bill and dedicate the ledge to focus on disaster relief and prevention. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for the members of this panel? Chair recognizes Representative Manuel to question the panel.
I promise I'm going to try to be quick. First, I want to say it's good to see you as always. And I know how important elections are to you. If you can, because I want to ask one other question. And first off, thank you both for your service. I'm an Army brat, grew up on an Air Force base. Most people don't understand. They think people are being dramatic when people are saying this feels like the beginning of an authoritarian government, because most people have never been to a country and really understand what it is to be in a place where you're like, oh yeah, that was where my uncle's brains got blown out. I have been places, oh yeah, that was where my dad almost got killed. So yeah, that's where it happens. Can you explain what it is that you actually mean for people who don't really want to understand what it's like to have tortures and people missing, and my uncle was disappeared to Siberia and my mother never saw him again?
So just for one, like I was born when that was happening. So like I didn't personally was disappeared. Clearly I'm here. But there were like so many books and correction of history, because it was also tried to make the history not be counted. Not be told.
I want to make sure that we tie this, though, to the map.
Okay, well, the reason I'm saying it is, I'm asking her that is because what I think she's saying is that this redistricting feels like a slow takeover and to something that is much more nefarious for some people, Chairman. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but there are people who do feel that way, and that's the reason that I'm bringing it up, because some people feel like they're losing their representation, and that's the reason we have a country, is because people felt they were losing their representation, and they destroyed everything that the British owned and took it from them. And it was over something as simple as representation and taxation.
The witness answer briefly in that context.
So the context in the dictatorship was like people were being disappeared for disagreeing with the government, and for many, many years, we did not have elections. We were governed by a military, I forgot what would be called, but it's a military group. And then even eventually they kind of start easing a little bit into less severe military hold because people were demanding it. But it took probably like 20, 30 years to get out of it. And once it got out, like it took several cycles. And then, luckily now Brazil is in a democracy. But recently some people were trying to forget again and go back to it. But they don't know that it has consequences, that if you're not electing your people, if you're giving a single party rule, because that was also part of what happened, it's like nobody has a say. Nobody really, even if you're voting, you're really not voting because it's only one party. And this, like by handing all these seats to the president at his will, by Congress ceding their power to the president, we are walking directly into something like what we had in Brazil in the 70s. Don't do that, because it's really, really hard to get out of it. It's really fast to get into it. It's really hard to get out of it. And nobody's safe. Don't think you're safe just because you were currently in the party, because eventually nobody's safe. Remember that.
Thank you. And lastly, Mr. Nicholas, I know you were emotional, and I understand that. Not all of us want to be here. If there's anything that you want us to know how you're feeling, being just a human being, a veteran, please let us know.
Yeah, I think this is just blatant. This is just blatant corruption. I just see blatant corruption and blatant takeover. You're over here smiling, but Donald Trump, did he not say he wanted 5 seats? Did he not pick this state to take them from? How is that not overreach? How is that not authoritarian? How is that not a dictatorship?
I appreciate you, and thank you so much for your time.
Members,
Thank
any
you,
other
Chairman.
questions for the members of this panel? Representative Tepper, you recognize the question, members of the panel.
Just to be clear, Dr. Carranza, there's a lot of rhetoric here. You still get a congressman. You might not like him, but no one's being stolen a member of Congress. The lines might change, but you still get to vote for a congressman. You still get a member of the House of Representatives in Congress.
Can I reply?
Yes, ma'am.
So what I said is that if we're voting and if you're really shifting the power, we're walk towards a one-party rule. And when you have one-party rule, it's like,
Realistically, does it look like we have 2 parties in this?
oh, come on.
Did you see the map?
Come on.
Did you see the map?
But the reason this is happening, whether you agree with it or not, is because the House of Representatives is very split. You have 2 parties, and they're very close.
They're not really close. I mean, you already cutting our votes. We already are underrepresented in Texas. So
How are you
if
underrepresented? You get 1 congressman per the population, 435 congressmen for the nation. It's about a million people.
I mean, people
per
told you
Congress.
the statistics.
I live in San Antonio, and